Hi friends, today I want to talk about percents. Specifically, we're going to talk about percents and decimals and how they relate to each other. You're going to see percents and decimals quite often in your contemporary math class as you're dealing with rates and also just percent problems. So let's talk about what it really means. Often I find with percents and decimals, it helps to translate to how we speak the numbers and the symbols, and then we can understand what they mean. So let me show you what I mean. When we see percents, I want to split that up into two words, per and cent. Now per literally means out of. So for example, if I say that my old car got 18 miles per gallon, well, that means that for every gallon of gas, I got 18 miles. 18 miles out of a gallon, all right? So we use the word per, we know what that means. Cent, now this comes from a Latin word. The Latin word that it comes from is the word centum. And I bet you can guess what that means. Centum just means 100. So you could think of a century, which is 100 years, or a cent, which is 100th of a dollar. It takes 100 of them to make a dollar. So when we see per cent, this literally means out of 100. Now that's helpful because it helps us to read a percentage and know what it means. So if I write 15%, well, that literally means 15 out of 100. Well, 15 out of 100, that sounds a lot like a fraction. So that would be 15 divided by 100. And you have a calculator in your hand. So we can use that calculator to take 15 divided by 100, and that's going to give you the decimal 0.15. Now, if you're able to jump from 15% down to that decimal of 0.15, awesome. That's great. But if not, it helps to have a method to work through it. Sometimes, even if you're comfortable with something like this, you can see a problem that's not quite so comfortable. So for example, if I have 7%, a lot of people will be confused. Should this be 0.7 or 0.07? I see that question a lot. So let's think about what it means. 7% means 7 out of 100, which is 7 divided by 100. Throw that in your calculator, and you get 0.07. So 7% would not be 0.7. That would actually be 70%. It would be 0.07. Another one that can throw people off is when we have a percentage that's larger than 100. So for example, 125%. That can be confusing. So let's use our method. This would be 125 out of 100. That sounds a little weird, but we can still set up our fraction, 125 divided by 100. That goes in our calculator, and we get a decimal equivalent of 1.25. So 125% would be expressed as 1.25 as a decimal. Okay. Now, some teachers will talk about moving the decimal point when you're going from a percent to a decimal. And that's a great way to do it. Students often forget which way to go, though. And so this method helps you know exactly where to go. So it's kind of foolproof. We don't have to remember which one goes forward and which one goes backwards. I have another video where we talk about decimals and relating those to fractions and percents. So be sure you check that one out as well.